The ministry of the South Carolina Methodist Conference Credit Union officially began on September the 19th, 1955, when the Secretary of State certified our organization as a South Carolina credit union. Its purpose, according to the credit union constitution, is to promote thrift among its members, to make loans to them at reasonable rates of interest. Over the years, the credit union expanded to serve those people who worked at the conference center and the many individuals who worked in the local churches, at the United Methodist colleges, or in our institutions. Finally, expanding our services to members of our local United Methodist churches. Built on a great foundation, the credit union offers a number of financial services for both clergy and laity. But the focus continues to be on making low-interest loans to its members.
The Methodist Credit Union financed my last car. I love the process because when I called, I got to talk to a real person.
I was at the credit union and I was talking to Rex about a beautification project, and I asked Rex if by any chance did they handle that. To my surprise, he said, "Oh yes," with much enthusiasm. He said, "We'd be glad to do that for you."
I've been associated with the South Carolina Conference Credit Union for 40 years, and they have been friends of mine.
We had a situation where my nephew was serving on a tour in Iraq, and he was able to join the credit union, and then the credit union financed his vehicle 100%.
I have done just about everything you can do, I guess, at a credit union. I've borrowed money for used cars. I've bought CDs. I've borrowed money for emergencies.
Of course, we can finance buses, new and used. We can finance heating and air conditioning units.
Several years ago out at Casey, we decided to go from a 1950s kitchen to a 2012 kitchen. We began talking with Rex and with Laura, who were able to come up with a plan to help us pay off our loan for that kitchen as quickly as we could possibly do it.
For many years, my late husband Clark and I were members of the South Carolina Methodist Credit Union. I've been able to call upon the credit union to assist me with very important paperwork and with getting referrals as I have begun to process Clark's final fiscal responsibilities.
They have matched or actually beat the dealership's rates.
We have several vehicles as we're dealing with Asbury Hills or Seawee or any of the other ministries, and we found ourselves in need of replacing one of our vehicles, and we started to look at several different banks and trying to acquire the best interest rate to be able to get a loan for the vehicle. And we were just amazed that when we checked with our own United Methodist Credit Union that we were able to get a lower interest rate through them than we were the banks.
And we are taking a trip to Africa University, and I talked to Rex. I said, you know, a lot of ministers and some laity can't come up with the money. He said, well, we can work out a deal where we can give them a low rate on their loan.
And I would just recommend the credit union to anyone.
It's a good thing that the Methodist Church does.
And so I would recommend the credit union to anybody because I believe that they really will meet whatever needs you have.
And I'm proud to know I've got family that I can rely on and family that I trust.
I would gladly recommend the South Carolina Methodist Credit Union to anyone.
We're a church ministry and they're part of the church, and church knows church, so what better connection can there be than that?
The people here are church people. And they really understand church, and they understand specifically the Methodist Church and how we work and how we function.
The credit union has really been a very fine resource for us and a friend.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to remind you, please contact us to see if we can help you with any of your financial needs.